Up, everybody? ODC here, and back off my lighting a little bit. Might be a bit too much. Yes, no, isn't. Hopefully, everybody can hear me okay. I'll wait for some people to pop in. I'm shooting this live for any of you out there that don't know that I'm shooting this live. That lighting's probably not helping anything, so maybe I'll angle this a little bit over here or a little bit over here. That might help. Nope. If you're just popping in, I just started about, I don't know, 40 seconds ago. Damn it, I left my water. I always do this. I always leave something in the other room. But S. Myers, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? How's everybody doing? I know it's been a minute. I do want to talk some Black Series tonight, just because I haven't talked about it in a while. But I also wanted to talk about like where the hell I've been for like the last month. I know I pretty much haven't uploaded anything within like a month or so, something like that. Zorpox, what's going on, bud? It's just been like super busy with a lot of stuff, but I'll get to that in a second once more people start popping in and we can all hang out and shoot the shit and talk. Like I said, I did want to talk Black Series, but I'm gonna have to kind of look up some characters because I wanted just to do this as like characters I'd like to see in the future. Fatherhood, been a minute, yeah. You know, so there's certain characters I'd like to see, and then maybe you guys can all give me what you think your list is for the year. That's not what I want to type. I'm typing shit I don't want to type. You ever just like start typing something and you just naturally are used to typing that thing, so you just type it all the time? All right, so I'm gonna have to open up multiple tabs here, which it's like a weird pet peeve thing I have that I don't like keeping my tabs open. My girlfriend has like hundreds of tabs open. I'm being I'm not being literal when I say that, but she has so many tabs open. Like I always like mess with her and I'll be like, I'm gonna do. Can I use your phone for a second? She'll be like, sure. And I'll just go through her tabs. I'll be like, I'm gonna close all your tabs. She's like, don't you dare. She's like, those tabs are my life. But I like closing everything off. It's so weird. What was I thinking of? Star Wars. How's everybody doing on this late Saturday night? I should have. I was gonna actually go earlier, but I took a nap, so I was gonna actually go start around 7 o'clock tonight. But I had to get some sleep. So, all right. So I think I have pretty much. Worst case scenario, I can always just look more stuff up on my phone and we can chat about it. There are specific characters that I remember from my previous years kind of asking about this. I want to see if I can back this light off. I might just turn this damn light off for a second. There we go. That might be better. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me okay. Thumbs up in the chat or for the video itself. That'll help. I really want to get my water. I'm like dying of thirst. Like super dehydrated. Thumbs up? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Matt Edwards, how's it going, buddy? All right, so hopefully this light it's really washing me the hell out. These lights. Okay, that's a little bit better. I do want to talk some Black Series, because I really don't talk Black Series too much. But there's been some really good stuff the last, like, what, 3 or 4 months that have come out via the Black Series. And just, I don't know, I guess kind of got the juices flowing as far as wanting to do some videos. I shot, what was it? Even some of the re-releases that have been coming out lately with the updated, like, paint applications for the face sculpts and stuff like that, improving some of those. It's actually, quietly been the first half of the year for the Black Series has been rather quiet, and then it seems like from like July or June or July on, it's been pretty good, consistent. I want to say more so towards like the end of August. It's been like they've been pumping a lot of good figures out. I still would like to get my hands on that has con exclusive Endor set, which I did pass on. I did actually have an opportunity to get it, and I passed on it, which I'm kind of regretting now, but whatever. But I do have the regular release Luke, but I just thought that Endor set was so good. Wow, I am really washing out everything here. He's like completely washed out. I think it's just the brightness of these lights. It's destroying it. But this Luke is really cool. I've always said as many Lukes as they're going to get offer me, I'm going to get. So that's one of the few characters I will buy blindly. Same thing goes for Ninja Turtles with Donatello. I will buy the shit out of some Donatello figures. I don't care. I will buy them. But I thought this one was really good. I think they did a really good job on this Endor Luke. There we go. That helped. The Endor Luke, the face sculpt looks really good. I think the hair. I mean, I see a lot of people going crazy over the Walmart exclusive Jedi Luke from the what was it? Return of the Jedi. The beginning of Return of the Jedi was at Jabba's palace. That figure randomly started popping up back in stock. But if you're looking, and I see a lot of people using it for like the whole Mandalorian scene. But if you're looking for that, I mean, I would go this route because you can take this poncho off, and he's pretty much just got his Jedi suit underneath it, and he's got the black glove. The Walmart exclusive one does not have the black glove because it was before he got shot in the hand and had to use the black glove to cover up the battle damage in his hand. But the Endor Luke, I think, is the right route to go if you're trying to go that way. And I think his hair looks a little bit more like that scene from Luke where they kind of use that CGI. I'm not going to lie, that was pretty bad CGI for Luke's face in The Mandalorian. It didn't look right. I don't get how $1 billion company can do worse work than Deepfake, which is a much smaller company than Disney and Lucasfilm. So it just kind of baffles me there that, Deepfake can do a better job than Lucasfilm when it comes to like CGI faces and such. It's just rather odd to me. I don't know. I actually have my lighting facing all the way to the wall, so I don't know why I'm still getting washed the fuck out. It doesn't make any sense. What did I think of the finale overall? It was definitely a really good finale. I I actually, my girlfriend is my witness because we watch it together. We make sure to watch it together because she gets home early. She works third shift, so she actually gets home at like 5 in the morning, almost 6 in the morning. So she'll wake me up and then we'll watch it together in bed. And I make sure not to watch it. I make sure not to read any spoilers to go on the internet. I'm usually just sleeping at that time anyway. But we watch it together, and just is she a nurse? No, she's in the medical field, but she's not a nurse. She runs a sleep study. So, but but yeah, as a whole, watching it, I actually like kind of called it even before the X-wing showed up. I was just like, I was like, really, the only way I could be any. I said this to her. I was like, the only way I could be any happier with the last 3 episodes is if Luke Skywalker showed up in this season. This would probably be the best season so far because we only gotten two. I was like, and then the motherfucker shows up, and I'm like, God, this is just. It was really cool. I wasn't some of those people that were like crying and shit. That's just a little. I don't know. I don't get that whole crying thing, but I mean, I get why people are crying, but grown men crying over seeing Luke Skywalker, it's a little much for me. But it was exciting. I was like definitely excited, and it was cool to see him. I mean, he's my favorite Star Wars character, period. He's always been that. It's always been that way. It's not some of these people that are kind of. I'm seeing a lot of people jumping on that Luke Skywalker bandwagon all of a sudden because he's the cool thing to talk about now. Right, Dusty? Yeah, he agrees. But you guys know I don't bullshit. I always keep it real. Ryan, how's it going? Yeah, I agree, Ryan. It was nice to be reminded of Luke and how you really wanted to see him. How they just didn't do that in the sequel trilogy at all. Big missed opportunity with the whole sequel trilogy. I don't want to sit here and rant about the sequel trilogy because I do want to talk toys, but that whole trilogy is just a big missed opportunity. I don't even consider it personally. I just don't consider it canon. I just ignore that shit and I just focus on Legends material and what can work in with the Legends material. That's just me personally. I know there's some people that like the sequel stuff. I don't. I just personally, I whether regardless of whether it was the sequels or Star Wars in general, if it was any movie that I gave a shit about, like if it was a Marvel movie and they made a sequel out of something and it was written and directed terribly, I would give that just as much shit as I give the sequel trilogy shit. How disjointed it is, the pacing's bad. Sure, it looks cool, but a golden turd, while it is a unique thing to look at, it's still a turd at the end of the day. Said, yeah, same. I've been reading comics long enough to know when to pick and prefer my canon. Yeah, pretty much. I don't go by what a company tells me canon is. I go by what I enjoy. I'm not gonna sit here and have somebody tell me because I've already been told now twice what is canon now. So I'm just like, you're all full of shit. I'll just make up my own canon and go from there. That's how I handle canon material now. On top of that, continuity and canon in anything is convoluted, and half of it's just hogwash anyway. So nothing really fits in, whether it's DC, Marvel, Star Wars, fucking anything. Nothing is a perfect canon. I've been told Star Wars is two different canons now, so I liked the Legends material. I'm going to continue with that, and I'll continue with what I like from Disney if I like it. Right now, Disney hasn't really given me anything besides The Mandalorian to really give a shit about. Rogue One is a movie that a lot of people like. Don't get me wrong. It's a movie that a lot of people like, but it's also a movie about people, characters that were created just to die. And it doesn't really hold that much weight as far as the other movies, besides people get caught up in just the Darth Vader stuff that at the end, and how cool it is that it goes right into episode 4, which kind of doesn't really work with, if you just see, now if you've gone so many years and you never saw Rogue One. I know there's maybe some young people out there that have seen Rogue One first and then maybe seen episode 4 after. It doesn't really work the same. Even telling the story, it kind of doesn't work that way, because if Vader saw them in the if Vader saw them go escape in that spaceship, in the Republic spaceship, or the Rebellion spaceship, whatever it's. I think it's technically a whatever, the spaceship that they left, and Vader was staring at the end of Rogue One. If you go into the scene, was it in the beginning of episode 4, and he's kind of interrogating people, but he's not like, hey, I just saw you. I literally just fucking saw you escape. Like, Leia lying to him is just making Leia look stupid and thinking Darth Vader's that stupid, just as stupid as she is. So it kind of doesn't really work that they did that. It would have been cool if they would have just left that alone and maybe not done the Vader scene. The Vader scene's cool, just like the Luke scene. Don't get me wrong. Luke's scene, I think, is much better. I think it's much more impressive, by the way, than Vader's scene, where he's just killing a bunch of inept rebellion troopers. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to see that, but staring at the Gaga doesn't make it great. You know what I mean? Rogue One, yeah, it had a different tone and blah, 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 all of that same old jargon that people have been throwing out there about Rogue One. While there's a lot of stuff that is cool about it, like it feels like a war movie, and that's great, there's not really a whole lot to attach yourself to as far as the characters go. You have more attachment to Darth Vader, which is in a 30-second scene, than any of the characters in the movie, besides maybe Baze Malbus and I don't know. Really, who else? I don't know. Personally, I mean, it's just that movie. I'm not trying to shit on Rogue One. You like Rogue One, great, go for it. Personally, I'm just giving you my opinion on it. A lot of the Disney stuff, like Solo, there's some cool stuff in Solo. I'm not saying Rogue One and Solo are terrible movies. They're just not a necessity. I think we could have gotten other ideas for movies, maybe something different for those. And don't worry, I'm going to be talking Black Series, but I'm just kind of getting some thoughts that I've had in my head about some of this stuff out. The trilogy has some good elements, but it wasn't coherent. The movies were at odds with each other. Yeah, I agree, S. Myers. And we're talking about the sequel stuff. What I was talking about before. I agree. I mean, there's a lot of just disjointedness about the sequel trilogy, and how they got to go do this, then they got to 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 do this. And there's no real explanation as to why they're doing that. They just kind of say, okay, we got to move on, and we got to hurry up and move on to the next scene, because that's that. Same thing with the new characters. Like, the new characters, I don't know. there's still, I feel like there was so much more to learn about Rey, and I just didn't give a shit about that character, even in episode 7, all the way through episode 9. I just watched episode 9. I actually just shot a rant on episode 9 because I watched it for the first time all the way through, and I told myself I was not going to pay to watch it, and I didn't. And originally, when I watched it, I actually fell asleep. I watched it on a pirated website, and I fell asleep. And I never saw the last, like, 25 minutes of it. So I guess I just didn't care, and then I just kind of put it off, and I just recently watched it with my girlfriend, and she had never seen it, too. So I was like, well, I'll try to keep an open mind. I've seen, like, some reviews on it, but I try to stay away from it just to give my own perspective, and it wasn't a very good movie. It's probably the worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen, The Rise of Skywalker, as far as pacing goes, and just overall, it's a riddled mess. I would actually say Attack of the Clones is actually a better movie than Rise of Skywalker. I know a lot of people are probably gonna be like, "What the frig are you talking about?" Attack of the Clones has some terrible CGI, yeah, but it's not all about CGI. At least there was, and it's not, it's the dialogue is better in the Rise of Skywalker, but yet still there's an actual story being told in Attack of the Clones, and there's almost no story, just some thrown together shit at the last minute in the Rise of Skywalker as far as the plot goes. And I don't know. The rest of the movies, like the Last Jedi is probably the right after that, next worse, right after that, and the Force Awakens was just a cash grab. That's all it was. It was just to make a movie that people felt nostalgic about, and it was safe, and it was something that Disney knew that they were going to make a ton of money on, and they gave you the bare minimum, and that was that. So that's my take on that. I don't want to sit here and rant about the movies the whole time. Uh, Bama boy, what's going on, man? Yes, I agree. The Christmas special is the worst, and I was fortunate to actually see the Christmas special twice. It is actually a rarity that you can actually see that now. So I agree. Christmas special is the worst. Then the Rise of Skywalker. Then the Last Jedi. Then probably Attack of the Clones. Then the Force Awakens. Then Episode 1. Then, oh boy, where are we going with this? I'm just talking Skywalker trilogy only here. I'm not going to include Solo, and I'm not going to include Rogue One. So, then I would probably say Revenge of the Sith, then Episode 4, Episode 5, and for me, Episode 6. It's still my favorite, regardless of Ewoks. Don't care. Uh, Dark Troopers and Mandalorian are a problem technologically, though. Magna Guard were so much more advanced. Yeah, I agree. Magna Guards were definitely badass. I want to say they were definitely much more functional. I want to say, like, I feel like Luke probably would have. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Luke's OP as fuck though. Luke probably would have just force crushed them and shit, just like he did to the Dark Troopers. But I feel like they would have put up more of a fight than the Dark Troopers. The Dark Troopers kind of just stood there and shot at him, just like I don't know, a battle droid would, you know, or a super battle droid. Yeah, they're a little bit tougher than the super battle droids and the battle droids, but was the X-wing the green saber or the glove that confirmed it? I like I said, I kind of was like I was like the only thing that can make this episode better was if Luke was in it. And this was probably like 5 minutes just before that all that started happening. And I was like, I just really liked this episode that much. It was that good. It was definitely the best episode. And I think it made sense. Like, some things don't make sense to have characters in. Like, Rogue One didn't really need Darth Vader in the end scene. They threw that in there to make you happy. It made sense for Luke to actually show up because Grogu had basically called him on the Jedi phone. You know, like, what was it? Like a week or 2 weeks before, or a week prior in the previous episode. So he had already, or was that a couple episodes ago? I don't know. They're all melding together. I've also been up all day. But anyway, you get my point. The whole episode where he met Boba Fett, we got the big Boba Fett reveal, and he basically, Din Djarin brought Grogu to the Jedi telephone, I'll just call it. The Facebook Messenger of Jedi, Jedi Facebook Messenger, and called Luke, and Luke answered the call. So, it makes sense by feel of the Force. I mean, if we're talking, this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and Luke has been on his way to pretty much mastering shit at this point. I want to say, some people are saying he's at his peak here. I wouldn't say he's at his peak. I think another 5 years he'd be at his peak because he's still young. Don't forget, like, Luke is only, 20 years old in Return of the Jedi? And then he's supposed to be, I think another 5 years, only 25. I want to say when he hits his 30s, that's peak Luke. So I still don't think he's in his peak. I still don't think he's, like, Jedi Master quality, but he's definitely, like, up there as far as, like, power levels go. So, like I said, it was definitely really cool, and I think it made a lot more sense for him to answer that call, and just by feel of the Force, the Force works in funny ways. Like, friggin' Obi-Wan Kenobi appeared to Luke and said, go to the Dagobah system. Luke was like, Dagobah? Why am I going there? Because you'll be trained by Yoda. Oh, okay. That's what I'll do. So it made sense, like, he would show up. Now, if, like, fucking Ahsoka showed up, or, somebody else showed up, it probably wouldn't have made as much sense. It would have been cool. Like, I felt like they were going to be like, oh, maybe Boba Fett will come back and, like, save the day. And that would have been cool, but, it still wouldn't have been on the level of Luke. Same thing with Ahsoka. It would have been cool to see her, but not on the level of Luke, Nobody's on his level, pretty much. Thanks for saying the name Grogu, silly name or not. Lots of silly names in Star Wars. Yeah, I don't mind the, like, I got sick of everybody. I think everybody's kind of stuck on Baby Yoda, saying Baby Yoda, but I don't want to say Baby Yoda anymore. The kid's got a name, His name is Grogu. Dale Norris, the Bama boy says, what I've been wondering is did they give Rey, and how did they give Rey Luke Skywalker's blue lightsaber when he lost it? And that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of the sequel stuff was just written by people that had the idea of a good, had like a I shouldn't say a good idea, had like the thought, had like a, what do I want to say here? I'm trying to say something specific, and I just realized one of my Predators fell off the damn shelf. Anyway, they had like the thought process of a good idea. And they took that, and they never really answered a lot of questions that were in the sequel trilogy. So when Bama Boy is saying that, it makes perfect sense, because Maz Kanata was like, "Oh, that's a story for another time." Okay, you had two other movies to tell us that story, and you never did. So, like, what the hell are you doing? You know, it was never told. Uh, Brennan got a ton of Black Series this Christmas. I got 3 Walmart exclusives: Bly, the Beskar Mandalorian, and lots of the 40th anniversary as well as the carbonized boba. Nice, man. That's a great haul. That's a really solid haul. I definitely asked for a lot of Black Series stuff. My girlfriend was trying so hard to find me just even a couple of the what was it, the Mandalorian Commandos and the Loyalists, and I've only found 2 Loyalists. One was in store. One I purchased through a connection, a fellow collector, for not $40, so like regular retail price. And then I got a couple Commandos went up for pre-order, and she got me those for Christmas. So I have 2 Commandos, 2 Loyalists, and I'm good. I think I'm good at that point. I don't need more than that. I'm seeing people with like 10 or 12 of them, and I'm like, you guys just basically bought. And it's not just one person; it's multiple people that have just been army building those. And I'm like, you guys know how hard that is to get. Like, did you really need 12 of them? Could have give somebody else a chance to get one more or something. Did I get any of the Target Christmas special Black Series figures? Well, just the Target ones. Uh, what did I get? I'm trying to think. I got the new Stormtrooper, which is actually a huge upgrade from the old Stormtrooper. Holy shit! Like, it's crazy. I'm trying not to. I have like 10,000 wrestling figures on the ground that I'm trying to figure out where the hell they're going to go next. I'm trying to figure out because I forget what the hell I bought. I've been trying to track down a lot of the Return Empire Strikes Back stuff. I'm trying to get as much of that. Like, I got the Vader. This is actually a really good Vader. I got the Luke from Return. I got the Leia from Return from Endor, and I got the Han Solo. So I have the trifecta. The trifecta is complete. What else? I did get Darth Nihilus, which I was super pumped for, and then they kind of reused a lot of parts. I was kind of hoping he would have been given a little bit more love, but it seems with the Legends characters, they don't put a lot of budget into those figures. Unless it was Jaina Solo. Jaina Solo, they actually did her pretty well, I want to say. And Darth Revan, they did pretty well. But they gave up on Darth Nihilus. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. Darth Maul reused parts and stuff. At least, like, change up the boots or something. I got the 332nd. Oh, you're lucky then. Those are going for a lot of money, Brennan. JJ and his damn mystery boxes. Andy, what's going on, Andy? How you doing, buddy? Tomato Head, I've really enjoyed your reviews on G.I. Joe Yo Joe. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tomato Head. I'm glad you like them. I enjoyed doing them. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to go back in the comments because I feel like I missed a bunch of comments, so I apologize. I'm not trying to ignore anybody's comments. But Brennan says he got the 332nd Loyalist Super Commando. Oh, yeah, I got the new Stormy as well. That's definitely a huge step up from the old one. Yep, I agree. Wow, yeah, the 332nd, the Ahsoka Troopers are tough to get, man. Those are tough. But I'll go back to some of this movie talk because I did want to kind of talk about it. But I don't. I did the whole title says, we're talking about the Black Series. So, but what I'd like to see, and I was gonna do originally like a top 10, but I was like, screw that. I'm just gonna do a live video. It's so much easier to do. It's more fun to do. This way I can talk to you all and we can hang out. I also haven't been in front of the camera in like forever. Not that I need to be, but yeah, I don't mind the reused Darth Maul. They got to give him a better cape. Yeah, because he's got. I mean, like, well, the thing is, like, I've seen and read so much of Darth Nihilus, and I've played Knights of the Old Republic 2, and he does have different attire, and I get like for the most part, usually the Black Series, unless it's like a revisited character, they don't really reuse parts like that. Like I know we've gotten a lot of Chewbacca's and we've gotten a lot of Darth Vader's and we've got a lot of Luke's. Those are mainstay characters, so I don't have a problem with them re-releasing and giving us all the versions of them. Same thing goes for a lot of the wrestling figures. Like I'll collect all the Shawn Michaels figures. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. So I don't mind getting the same like the same character, different attires, as long as there's variations and we're not just getting the same exact thing. So that I don't mind. But what I do mind is when you give me a totally different character and then start doing some silliness, some G.I. Joe shit, and start just throwing a bunch of shit from other figures. It doesn't even fit the character, really. Because Darth Nihilus is actually supposed to be, I think, taller. He's short. Because Maul was shorter. But anyway, I'm not trying to sit here and rant about one thing. But I do agree, Andy, he definitely needed a longer flowing cape. Like, it should have wrapped around him. It should have been like Vader's cape, where you can really, like, play with this cape. And it's a pretty durable, nice quality cape. It should have been this quality, you know? His cape is, like, almost see-through, and it's weird. It's just weird. And the Dolphins just beat the Raiders. Big whoop. 26-25. Ooh. So, sorry, I'm a Bills fan, so I want to know who I'm facing round one. Right now we have the second seed. Anyway, so that's all the football talk. The Target Christmas ones are the exclusives to Target. I'm not mistaken. They're mostly stormtroopers and the Christmas colors. Oh, yeah, I didn't get any of those. Yeah. The Christmas ones, no thank you. Go Jags. May God have mercy on your soul, S. Myers. Go. You can. I'll root for your Jags to get that number one pick. Right now they have it. They better not win anymore, or they're gonna screw it up and give it to the Jets. But they're definitely not making the playoffs. Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka was perfect. I hope we get more of her in the future. Great character. Yeah, S. Myers. I mean, they've already announced that she's going to get her own show. So, I don't know when that show is coming out. I think maybe 2022, 2023. Who knows? 2021. I don't know. But she is getting her own show. So, Christmas was definitely a hit. Says Brennan. I was lucky to score out the new Marauders Germans they made. I was lucky enough to get that leopard print Destro. Oh, cool. Yeah, Marauders has some good stuff. Joy Toy also has their own World War II figures too. Okay, so getting on with characters I'd like to see. Now, these are all, I want to say for the most part, characters that have not been made. If I do mention a character that's been made, it's probably just because it's a variation. But, and there's some Legends characters in here. I'd like to see some more Legends stuff. Because really, Star Wars is starting to use more Legends stuff as their canon. The more and more further away we get from the sequel trilogy, which seem to hate Legends material. But anyway, pretty much, I mean, I'll take any Cantina characters. I'll take Ones I would really prefer would be Jericho, Boshek, the Wooher, the bartender, and Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan. Those would be some of the patrons, and Hammerhead too. Hammerhead. That would be some cool patrons. Like, cause pretty much, I think besides the main cast, I don't think we have any patrons really. I'm pretty sure we don't. Yeah, no, we don't. We have a bunch of bounty hunters, and that's great, and I love that. But I'd like to start seeing some Cantina characters, and maybe we could, someone out there could recreate the Cantina for us, so we can put our Black Series figures in the Cantina. Excuse me. Excuse me. No, I don't have Corona. Don't worry. But there's actually a couple stories that you guys can read in case you didn't know, which I thought were kind of interesting. And I'm going to segue into this because I wanted to talk about this really quick. And I'm glad I brought up the Cantina first. But there's actually a story called Tales from the Cantina, or Tales from, right, Mos Eisley Cantina, I think it is. Can't remember. I'll have to look it up. I have the book somewhere. I just don't know where the hell it is. I think it's like Star Wars Tales from the Cantina. Yes, it is. Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. That's the official title. And I believe it was soft cover and it was released as hardcover. It is considered Legends. But the reason why I'm even bringing this up, and there is a point, if you read this book, now there's short little stories in here. It's not one overarching story, obviously, because it's called Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. And if you read some of the stories, they're kind of dark. And that's what I think Mos Eisley needs to be, is kind of that rough, rugged, dark, grimy storytelling. It needs that feel, that kind of uneasy. Maybe you'll get a thriller for one story, you'll get a horror feel for another story, you'll get an adventure for another one, you'll get different feels for each story is the point I'm trying to make. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because it's an old book, and I remember reading it a long time ago, and then I what was it? I was unpacking some boxes for my collection, and it was actually packed with some of my like my Thrawn book and a bunch of others. This book, which I just reread, or I'm actually almost done rereading, which is Shadows of the Empire, the omnibus book. All these books that I'm actually going back and rereading because they were so much fun to read the first time. But anyway, this book specifically, I think has a really good idea, and I think like a lot of the shows, and I know a lot of people are excited for all the shows coming out as far as Star Wars goes for Disney Plus and stuff. But my thoughts as far as that goes is that it's cool to have have shows feel like Star Wars, and I get that to a certain degree, but Star Wars also needs to branch out and feel like something else sometimes. You got a little bit of that with Rogue One, and people enjoyed that. It felt like Saving Private Ryan, and that's cool because Star Wars initially wasn't like that. It wasn't that much darker and grittier and blah, 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 blah. And it's cool to have that differentiation within that brand. And I think you get a lot of that. You get kind of a little bit of everything with Mandalorian. That's why people love it across the board, or at least will watch it. Some people don't like The Mandalorian, but I think they're really in the minority. Most people, for the most part, will say they enjoy it. But you really get a lot of different feels with The Mandalorian, is my point. But with this, my idea was to go back to a show called Tales from the Crypt, and I'm sure a lot of you know this show. It was a show on HBO. I kind of grew up watching it. It really got me into the horror game and horror in general. And it was in the early '90s. I want to say late '80s, early '90s, into the mid '90s, into the late '90s. There were two movies that came from it because of the popularity. It was Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, Tales from the Crypt Bordello of Blood. Bordello of Blood wasn't all that great. Uh, it had Dennis Miller in it, and he was definitely overacting like crazy, and it was hilarious to watch. But Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight was a really good movie overall. It had a good premise, some original ideas, and some pretty cool characters across the board as far as the movie goes. Now, where I'm going with this, it's not just because Tales from the Crypt says Tales in the story, and Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina says Tales in it. No, it works because the premise works with it. The premise of the stories being told. You could give that more Tales from the Crypt, darker story feel. And not every Tales from the Crypt story had to do with horror. Some of it had to do with injustice. Some of it had to do with revenge. Some of them had to do with, looking inside yourself as a human being and figuring a lot of stuff out. It had a bunch of different feels to each story. And each story was unique from the other one. For the most part. You got a different feel, and there was always a cool, cute little twist in there. Just enough. Not like M. Night Shyamalan style twists, but I'd like to have that feel, and I feel like this is something like a small project that you can work with, where it's not messing any canon up. You don't need Luke Skywalker to show up. You don't need Han Solo to show up. You don't need Darth Vader. You don't need any of these characters. These are all new, original characters. Some that you can use from the original Cantina day. You don't have to go by what the book says, because a lot of what that book is kind of like what happened during when Luke, Chewbacca, Han Solo, and Obi-Wan Kenobi were all in the Cantina together. That's kind of what that book kind of follows suit with. It's during that whole thing, that whole ordeal, when that happened. When Obi-Wan Kenobi pulled out his lightsaber and chopped off Ponda Baba's arm. It's during that whole time frame. So what I'm suggesting is, what I think is a really good idea, is you could use some of those stories. Like one's about, I don't want to ruin any of the stories, but I'll just tell you one story. One story is about a Jawa, and this Jawa is just sitting, and he's getting drunk, and he's talking to a bunch of other patrons, and I'm just generalizing here. He's talking to a bunch of other patrons about what happened to all the Jawas, and originally that they thought that the mass murder of all these Jawas was from the Sand People, but it wasn't. It was from all these stormtroopers. So he's kind of thinking in his head and talking out loud, and you do this thing when you're intoxicated and you start saying things that you probably regret or didn't need to say or let people know. And he's talking about killing these stormtroopers. At least some of the ones that he knows did the deed. Or, if you just happen to be in the vicinity of my revenge and you're a stormtrooper, I'm going to kill you. So he's plotting this in his head, and he's thinking. And he's got this gun. S. Myers, have a good night, bud. And he's got, what was it? He's got a blaster. I can't remember the name of the specific blaster, but it's one of the Jawa blasters. And he's talking to the other patron. He's like, I'm going to go do this. basically. And he walks out, and he pulls out his gun, talks about how he's nervous and angry and excited all at the same time, pulls out his blaster and goes to shoot. And just then, it switches back to when he was in the cantina talking to the patrons. And there's a guy sitting next to him. And then it switches back to the Jawa. And he pulls out his blaster and it goes click. And then it goes back to the cantina. And one of the guys that he's sitting there talking to is an Imperial spy. And he pulls out all his ammunition. So when the Jawa goes out there and he hears that click, there's no ammunition. So what do you think happened next? And that just immediately, when that was like the first one I read, and I think it was out of order, but that was the first one I read, and I was like, immediately I thought of, that's something that would happen in Tales of the Crypt. And it made me think of that. Now, it didn't necessarily have to be all about horror. It has to do with kind of learning your lesson, not to make mistakes, not to, be so conceited or be so egotistical or let revenge ruin your life. That, these are the things that you learn in some of the Tales from the Crypt episodes. So a lot of these stories could work that way. And in going off of a, all new characters with all new ideas, you could go that route with this. And I think it would be something cool and different to actually, while still feeling, a little bit nostalgic with Star Wars characters. You don't have to go all the way with the Tales from the Crypt stuff because that stuff's been done. But you can, I'm just using it as an example of something that they could do, half an hour shows or an hour show, whatever you want to do, and just tell a cute little story. One cute little story each week with different characters. Just like kind of Tales from the Crypt did. You never got repeat characters. If you did, it was a small cameo, and that was it. You could have different celebrities kind of make a cameo if you wanted to, playing other characters. If they want to play an alien character. And this is kind of the thing that they could use to kind of instill some alien characters as the lead characters. We don't get a whole lot of that. You got Grogu, and he's just kind of like a little puppet that moves, and he's cute, and that's about it. You got Chewbacca, but he's a main character, and I love Chewbacca, but he's not the main character. And I've been saying this for a while, is that we get a whole lot of human main characters, but we don't really get any alien main characters that you can kind of look at in their own little story and kind of devote that time and effort into those new characters. And, because Star Wars is a big galaxy, and we're just stay focused on the human characters all the time. It's like, come on, let's have some variety here. They kind of do that with Forces of Destiny, but I get what you're saying, and I like the idea. Thanks, Tony C. Yeah, because I just, did I hear that? Did I see that Brody Lee passed? Yeah, I did. Way too young. Way too young. He's actually from the Rochester area, which is really close to my hometown of Buffalo, New York. So it's a shame. It's a shame. And I have friends that know him, so it's a real shame. So died way too young. I believe it was like lung disease. So not COVID. It wasn't COVID related either. So, which is a shame. So, but rest in peace, Brody Lee. Shame. But this was just an idea that I had for something for a Star Wars show that you could do. This is something a little bit different, instead of just getting the same old, But anyway, that was my little rant for that. As far as characters go, like I said, as far as the Cantina stuff, those are some of the characters that I'd like to see. Actually, I think the only Cantina characters that we got are Jawas. Got the off-world Jawas that are pretty cool with the cloth robe, and then we got the regular Jawas with the plastic robe. So I guess you could count the Jawas as a Cantina patron, but specifically. Anyway, next is Jabba's palace characters. I mean, come on now. I'm pretty sure most of everybody would agree with here. We'd like some Jabba's palace characters. I mean, we've got Boba Fett, we got Jabba the Hutt, we got Shalasis. A little blah, blah, my mouth is dry. Shalasis Scrum. I'm not saying that right, and it's annoying the shit out of me, so I apologize. Sir Lacious Scrum. Salacious Scrum. Salacious Crumb. What the hell's the matter with me? There we go. Bib Fortuna. I mean, come on now. We've seen Bib Fortuna get go from the right hand man to basically taking over Jabba's palace and now being murdered by Boba Fett. I think it's in due time for the Black Series to give us a Bib Fortuna here. I mean, the Max Rebo and the Max Rebo band. Come on, let's start churning those out, please. Let's go. I agree. Walrus face. Let's do it. I don't know the name of the damn droid, but the droid we need Ula. We definitely need Ula. But the droid that's like, you are a protocol droid, are you not? So that guy. I don't know what his name is. Oh, I'm getting to that, Brennan. Don't you worry. He's on the mind. Who else? Oh no, we did get we got the Gamorrean guards, which is pretty cool. I doubt we'll ever get a Rancor. That would just be too huge. It would be ridiculous. It would have to be like a small child, like a 9-year-old child or something. But definitely Max Rebo and his band would be really cool. I'm trying to think who else specifically. Yak Face. Give me some Yak Face. I'm trying to think. I know I'm forgetting somebody specific. If I think of it, it'll pop back in my head. So, as long as Brennan brought it up, what about a weekly sitcom called I Love Barge as a show? Well, the Love Barge as a show. Tony, see, that's pretty funny. I like that. The love. Welcome to the Love Barge. Walrus Face is one that I got his arm cut off. Yes. Yeah, Walrus Face, aka Ponda Baba. They gave him a name. But I do remember having Walrus Face. Squid Face. Squid Face, absolutely. Now, if you're wondering who the hell Squid Face is, if you don't know, he's basically, it looks like a squid. His head is shaped like a point, and then he's got tentacles kind of coming out of his face. So if you think of this, and then you think of this, 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 then you'll know what the hell I'm talking about. But I some of these characters they should have been made, especially with some of the Cantina characters. I mean, we've got the 3 3/4 inch Cantina characters and a bunch of the Jabba's Palace characters too. So I think it'd be cool. Even some of the other characters that were featured, like some of Jabba's guard and such. I think that would be pretty cool. What's up, Gaz? How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Action Figure Addict, how's it going? What's up, Kyle? How you doing, buddy? Terry, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for popping in. We're just shooting the shit, talking Black Series stuff. Uh, let's see what else. Pre Vizsla. He was definitely on my list, and I'm actually trying to go through because I just yeah Pre Vizsla. So these are the ones that off the top of my head I was thinking. I can't believe we actually got Bo-Katan before we got Pre Vizsla, but I get it. Bo-Katan is now featured on Mandalorian, so she is more relevant. But yeah, pretty much Black Series figures I'd like to see in the future. I brought up some of the so far. I've brought up the Cantina characters, some of the Cantina, not all of them, but some of the Cantina characters, and some of Jabba's Palace's characters. Yeah, I agree, Brennan. An Endor trooper would be perfect to go alongside Wicket and the rest of Luke and Leia and Han. It just works. I think. Well, did they officially say that one rebel trooper with the gray hair and gray beard was Captain Rex? I know there was. I know there's a lot of fans that wanted that, and I think I remember somebody saying that Disney was like, yeah, oh yeah, sure, it's Captain Rex, sure, but that guy, make that guy, even if it's not. Okay, I don't want to get off track. Kiadi Mundi. Kiadi Mundi must be made. And I think he should be made this year. Absolutely, the upcoming year, not this year, 2021. I really think he should be made. I think he's kind of a necessity at this point. We've got Kit Fisto. We've got a bunch of other. We got Mace Windu. We're getting more and more of that Jedi council, and I think we need to keep nipping those in the proverbial bud. Who else? Zam Wessel is another character that died off. Don't get me wrong, died off early in episode 2, but she actually kind of had a an interesting relationship with Jango Fett. If you go ahead and played the old Bounty Hunter PlayStation 2 game, which I do own, and it's actually a really fun game to play. But if you played that and you start noticing the relationship develop between Zam and Django, I would actually like to. I wouldn't mind seeing a figure of her being made. That could be something that I could see being like an exclusive or something. Maybe something that not everyone would want, so you don't have to do a regular release for her. But I think that would be a pretty cool one. General Krell, that's another good pick. That's definitely a good pick. I have two that they whacked out. The droid. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to the droids. And around the most Isley and stormtroopers bumped his head on the door in the Death Star. That's a good one, guys. Yeah, remember the whoopsie that they did with the stormtrooper bashing his head on the blast door. That was funny. But yeah, definitely Droidicas, and I think Droidicas could be a deluxe figure. It'd be really cool if they could get like after you kind of set them up, you can get them into ball mode, so they kind of be like a transformer a little bit, which would be pretty cool. And then if after you ball them up and you get them into battle mode, when they're in battle mode, you could maybe, now this is wishful thinking here, and I doubt this will happen, but you could actually put like a force field around the actual droidica, which would make it like a big deluxe figure. It'd have to be like this big, about the size maybe of that speeder that just came out, the Amazon exclusive speeder with Grogu. Maybe about that size, maybe actually a little bit bigger, if you're going to have something that's going to surround the droidica. Super battle droids, it's another thing. I think it's kind of a necessity at this point, since we're getting more Clone Wars stuff finally. And that's between Clone Wars and original trilogy stuff, that's the stuff that sells, really, when you think about it. That and Mandalorian. Those are really the three things that sell. Another wishful thinking character for me is Darth Malgus. I've been saying this for, I don't know, going on since the Black Series was announced back in, 2013. I was like, come on, Darth Malgus, every year. And I'm like, damn. Darth Malgus is one of my favorite characters, and I just hope, we just got Darth Nihilus, and I'm like, come on, give me my Old Republic content. You just gave me Knights of the Old Republic. Now give me some Old Republic content, please. Really want that Darth Malgus. I feel like even if they wanted to reuse some parts from Darth Vader, you could get away with that. I would kind of prefer not a removable mask, but an alternate head. So like a sculpted head with the mask on, and then an alternate head without the mask on. Before he had his breathing, or he had the battle damage. So that would be really cool. I'm hoping and praying. I'm not a religious man, but I'm praying to the Black Series gods to please make me a Darth Malgus, and then I'll be over the moon. Where was I talking about? General Nadine from Return of the Jedi. I think that's how you spell it. Yeah, General Nadine. Yeah, sure. That's another, like, I could see them doing like an Amazon exclusive for, maybe, or maybe he'd be like a part of like a 2-pack or something like that. That I think would have actually made a really good 2-pack with. If they had like General Nadine, and then you would have had what was it? What's wrong with me right now? I swear to God, like my mind just starts blanking on characters' names. I'm surprised I even remember my own. Admiral Akbar. What the hell's the matter with me? That would have been a pretty cool 2-pack. It's like it's not really an army builder, but it's kind of like two characters that you really wanted. Got Admiral Akbar from the sequel stuff, which didn't really care to see. So I just kind of used that one as another version of Amon Calamari. Malgus and Bane would be cool. Definitely Darth Sion would be really cool. I could see them making Bane and Malgus. Darth Sion would be a really cool one, and I'd love to have that. Darth Talon is another one that I would love to have. I think a lot of those are wishful thinking. These are just really cool characters that I don't think Disney has any inkling, or Hasbro has any inkling that they think that will make money off of. So I could see those all being exclusives, which I'm fine with. As long as I have a shot to get any of those characters from Legends, I'm good. Just give it to me. And I don't really see why those characters can't be canon anyway. What the hell's the difference? And I'm pretty sure that new Acolyte show is probably going to be Darth Plagueis. That's just my guess. But anyway, Action Figure Expert, how's it going, buddy? Yaddle. Give me Yaddle. I would love to see some original concept figures from the Black Series that they had in a 3 3/4 inch scale. Yeah, I agree. That would be cool. Starkiller. I think Starkiller is high up on the list. I think Hasbro's going to kind of have to make that character because a lot of people have been wanting him very badly as far as adding him to their collection. I'd love to have him. I have the 3 3/4 inch figure, and I like that one. I actually have a custom, and it's put away. I don't know where the hell it is, but I have a custom of the Sith version. So I think it was like a DLC or something, or I think it was the DLC, but you could, where he had the helmet, or they had the mask and kind of that Vader-esque helmet with the rebreather that kind of looked actually just like the disguise. The Bausch face mask that Leia had for the Bausch disguised character, which Bausch is actually his own character, which I don't want to go off on a tangent on that now. I'd love some characters from these PS2 Battlefront like ones like the Jetpack Trooper or the clone Jetpack Trooper. Oh yeah, absolutely. I was saying, what was it? Even some of the trooper designs, like the Rebel troopers from the original trilogy, from even the new Battlefront games, would make sense. The Snow Trooper from Empire Strikes Back is probably one of the best troopers in the Black Series line. That thing is absolutely fantastic. If it had one more face sculpt to go with that, over the moon for that. That would be one thing I would add to that figure to improve it. The white and black Maul tattoos would look cool for Starkiller. Sure, absolutely. Luminara, that's another good pick. Andy, yeah, absolutely. Disney does not want to use old expanded universe characters because they do not want to pay the creators of those characters. Well, that's not necessarily true because we did get Darth Nihilus, we did get Darth Revan, and we've got Jaina Solo. So they did make 3 figures already of Legends characters. So they don't. I don't think they really give a shit. I think it's all about what they feel like doing. I don't think they care one mess if they have to pay someone 50 grand. They're a $1 billion company. 50 grand is like a penny to them. It's half a penny. I don't think they give a shit about paying someone if they have to, even because I don't think they actually even have to because they own the damn rights to Star Wars brand, period, across the board. Once Lucas sold the rights to Disney, it's across the board, they own that shit. Yeah, Mara Jade's definitely was one I was going to bring up. Darth Mauls. I mean, we've only got one Darth Maul. I don't know why we haven't got any other version of Darth Maul. I don't care if it's solo version of Darth Maul. I don't care if it's Clone Wars, robot legs Darth Maul. I don't care if it's tarantula legs Darth Maul. I don't care if it's the last season version of Clone Wars Darth Maul. I just want another Darth Maul. Is it so much to ask for? I don't get it. I don't even care if it's the damn version from Rebels. But we need to start getting some more Darth Mauls. We've got one, and that's it from episode 1. And there's way more lore past episode 1 that has to do with Darth Maul. So it'd be nice to see some more of those, hopefully. I think that would be high up on people's list too. Definitely like the inverted robot legs Darth Maul. That one too. Come on, let's get with it, Hasbro. This is not rocket science. What I'm talking here. Did I know Obi-Wan Kenobi comes from the Shinobi Ninja? I did know that. Dr. Mango. Thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for joining us. Are there any figures you'd like to see, or characters you'd like to see that haven't been made, or maybe variations of a character you'd like to see in the Black Series? Knowledge is power. That is correct. Correctamundo. The original concept characters are owned by George Lucas. Yeah, but everything is owned by Disney, though. Like George Lucas sold everything. Like the concepts he probably owns physically, yes, but he doesn't really own them. You love magic books? Cool, man. What was another character? Knowing is half the battle, G.I. Joe. That's correct. Okay. So, um, how cool is it that we're getting an Asajj Ventress? So cool. We got Cad Bane this year. We're getting. I know a lot of people are excited about Jar Jar Binks. Count Dooku we got this year, which was pretty awesome. We got Hondo, which was pretty awesome. Prequel Darth Sidious, absolutely A and D. I agree. Savage Opress was on my list as well, and Aura Singh. Those two should be made. If we get Clone Wars Darth Maul, just put them in a damn 2-pack with Savage Opress and give us that, and then Aura Singh is just necessary at this point. I'd even take a young Boba Fett. I would absolutely take a young Boba Fett. Mother Talzin too. That's the other one I was forgetting. Mother Talzin, I think, is kind of a necessity. Hell, make a 3-pack and call it the Family Matters 3-pack. Inside joke, maybe. Somebody's got to get that joke. The Family Matters joke. Yeah, I agree, Gaz. People call me crazy, but I've only bought a handful of Black Series because all the characters that have ever been made into 4-inch figures. Hey, man, it's okay. You collect at your leisure, you know. Collect at your pace. You don't have to get them all at once, you know. You don't have to get any of them, you know. You can still enjoy something not collecting it, you know. Gar Saxon would be great. I need someone to lead my Super Commandos. Yes, that would be awesome. Removable helmet, please. Dash Rendar. Now, okay, now we're talking. Now we're getting into what was my last point. Now I've already made a whole rant video. It's on my Facebook page about Shadows of the Empire and how kind of a big deal. Like, if you didn't grow up with Shadows of the Empire, and I'm assuming probably the majority of the people talking in here live, or the majority of you watching, know what the hell Shadows of the Empire is. It's Legends material technically now. This is Dark Horse stuff, which is a shame because I think this is another story that can work within canon material and it's not really hurting anything, pretty much. But you know, leave it to Disney to just throw a bunch of fucking good shit away. But this is a fantastic story. If you have a chance to get the omnibus, get the damn omnibus and read it. It's pretty good, pretty thick. But I did a whole rant video on that, and there are so many cool characters in here that you can use. What the hell is the name of Shizor's right-hand woman? That girl's a freaking badass. She had like red hair. What the hell's her name? I can't think of her name. And I'm reading this book. What the fuck is wrong with me? I've like gone completely blank. This is what happens. She like whoops ass. And like Shizor kind of like on the side will just like have sex with her sometimes. Because he basically like controls her. Shizor is a freak, man. Shizor is a absolute freak. He's got those pheromones that release and just like basically make women want to bang him. Renegade, how's it going, bud? I'm doing well. I've been super busy this whole month. That's why I haven't released any content this whole month. I just got a new job, and I love my job now. I'm so happy. It's like a load, a weight off my chest. I don't want to say load because that could mean something else. Uh, but it's like a weight off my shoulders, and I'm really happy with this job. I love it, and it's good money and retirement and all that stuff. So, good stuff. That's kind of what I was been doing the last like month. Just been busy doing that, and then Christmas and stuff. Kyrkanos, man, I already got me a Kyrkanos right here, man. Kyrkanos. Hopefully, I can show you my custom that I made. And this would be an easy one for Hasbro to make. I will bring him up here because this is how much I love this character. I actually made it a custom and went out of my way to do this. There's my Kyrkanos. I know this is bent a little bit. It's like warping. But yeah, I would love a friggin' actual Kyrkanos figure because I mean I own the audiobook, I own the regular book, I own the trade paperback. I love that story, the whole story. It's fantastic. It's another one that I wish. Oh, now I'm knocking Rustlers over. I wish would been made into an actual movie, but you know that's all thrown out now because we're not allowed to have cool stuff. I'm doing okay, ODC. I'm getting something from Amazon tomorrow, which is door box to stop the local porch pirates. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. You've been having porch pirates problems. Man, that shit doesn't go down in South Carolina. We got the friggin' castle doctorate down here. Someone comes on someone's porch, they get click-clacked. They don't play around down here. It's like the Wild West. Talking wishful thinking, says AND. Marca Ragnos. Oh, yeah? Yeah. That is some wishful thinking right there. So is, Kyrkanos. That's probably never going to happen. I could barely get a Darth Malgus. I think I'm going to get a Kyrkanos. But yeah, Crimson Empire is such a good story. I don't know. If you guys don't, if you haven't read that, where is that book? Where are you, book? Well, I'll just go get the audiobook because I think it's right here. I'll try to get it. There's shit everywhere. Oh, I did get, I'll show you this in a second. I did get the Snowspeeder. That was my Christmas present to myself. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you didn't get any plumber's crack there. But they do have the audio book. Crimson Empire. It's a 2-disc audiobook, and there goes 1 disc. I'm just on a roll. I'm on a roll tonight. Throwing shit all over the place. Come on. Stop being stubborn. Anyway, there are 2 discs, I promise you. This is what it looks like. The book itself is fantastic. I would much more recommend the book over the audiobook, but the audiobook, if like you go on like a road trip or something, you want to listen to something, this is good. I'm pretty sure you can also do a digital download for Crimson Empire. So, but the main thing I got for myself as far as now this is actually a funny story. A Originally, I had purchased this from, what was it? Originally, I had purchased this from Amazon, okay, and it was on sale for like $71. The snow speeder, which is actually pretty cool. This is, I think, actually cooler than the damn TIE fighter, and I have two TIE fighters. It takes up a lot less space. I think the detail on this is much better, especially inside the cockpit. I want to say overall aesthetics are much more appealing than the TIE fighter, and it takes up so much less space. Don't get me wrong, TIE fighter's cool and all, but it's not even the original trilogy TIE fighter, which is kind of like a wah, you know? But anyway, the Snowspeed is really cool. So originally I had purchased this off of Amazon for $71. I got the order confirmation and everything, and it got canceled. So I was like, well, that sucks, because that's just what happens in life. Shit gets canceled, and there's nothing you can do about it. Moving on. So then I went to, what was it, Dorkside Toys, and Dorkside Toys had this on sale, I think, for, what was it, $85? And I was like, okay, that's still not bad. Like, even with shipping and tax, it's still under $100. So I was like, okay, so I'll pull the trigger. They accidentally, because apparently they forgot to ship this. And I was like, well, am I even going to, well, like, when am I going to get this? So I sent them an email saying, hey, you know, it's been like 2 weeks. Like, is this shipped yet, or what's going on? Because it said in stock. So then I get this, and then they ship me another one. So now I have two. So I paid under $100 for two, which, thank you, Dorkside Toys. I think what happened was they got confused, and then they didn't realize that they shipped this one out. So then they shipped another one out, thinking that this wasn't shipped out. I don't know, but I got two, so I'm happy. I'm going to use the other one, which brings me to my other idea of you could actually use, if you do have two of these, or you wanted two of them, you could use Wedge in there. I know he has different boots, but if it really bothers you, you can get another Luke Skywalker. Take the belt off, because I think it's different on Luke than Wedge. And you could swap the head, or you could just use the blah, 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 blah. You could use the Wedge Antilles that came out and just put them in the cockpit, and you can have yourself a Wedge and a Luke in your snow speeders. Boom. There you go. So you could do that if you wanted to. You want to know what my early Christmas gift was back in November? Was the beautiful Razor Crest from TVC. I knew it would eventually come out. I knew it would eventually come, and I saved my money the prior months. I mean, is that what was it? The Hasbro Pulse? Are you talking about the Hasbro Pulse one? Palpatine, what's going on, bud? Hey, bro, I'm waiting for Hasbro to update my Luke Skywalker from Mandalorian final episode. It would be a no-brainer to use the existing figures from the Black Series. Like I said earlier in the video, I mean, this guy's out right now. He's relevant as far as the store shelves are considered. And if you take the helmet off and you take the poncho off, you could pretty much, I think this actually looks better than the Walmart one. And I have the Walmart one. I got them a long time ago, but I think the head sculpt looks a little bit more like the version you're looking for. Because the Walmart one, obviously, the hair is a little bit different. It doesn't look as Mandalorian-ish. And then this one also comes with a black glove, and you can just take this poncho off. And it's pretty much the same version, so. He's wearing all black, and if you give him just a black or a brown Jedi cloak or cape, call it a day, man. You got yourself. You don't have to wait for anything, you know. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Son of a bitch. Porkins? I'll take a Porkins, man. I'll take a Porkins, guys. I gotta drink some water. I'm like dehydrated as shit. Marauders is great. I'm pretty frequent customer, so they give me an extra MG42 or even a figure occasionally. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, they've sent me some stuff too. I mean, they're a really good company. Don't get me wrong. A light just turned out somewhere. Oh, maybe the TV turned off. Yeah, they're a really good company. Definitely a fun company to play around with. God knows I've made my fair share of videos in the past of Marauder stuff. So I'm right there with you. ODC, have I thought about making the snow speeder light up? I've been seeing videos where you can light it up with LED lights. Yeah, Renegade, that's a good idea. I mean, you could definitely go that route. Maybe like a blue LED or something like that. That would be pretty cool. Oh man, I got my dad the NECA old man from A Christmas Story yesterday. That's awesome, Brennan. Andy says yes, Porkins. That's awesome. Uh, Dale Norris, aka Bama Boy, says he had floppies of Crimson Empire Part 1 and 2, the miniseries. That's awesome. Renegade said he'll do a video of the door box when I get it. Oh, cool. You order from Amazon a lot, as we all do. I I feel you. My hope, Brennan says, I hope from the EU would be Jester Morel, Delta Squad, and Mandalore the Great. Yeah, definitely Mandalore the Great. I would love that. I have the what was it? The old. It's packed away, but I do have it. It was actually on my kind of like Mandalorian slash Boba Fett Jango Fett display. It was Mandalore the Great, Jango Fett, and Boba Fett 3-pack. It was like the Mandalorian. It was the 3 3/4 inch figures. It was the Mandalorian Legacy, I think it was called, from the Legacy line or the 30th anniversary 3-pack. But it's pretty cool. A lot of those older 3-pack, 3 3/4 inch 3-packs were really cool. It'd be cool to see like some Black Series 6-inch themed 3-packs or 2-packs down the line. That would be pretty cool. The Evolution pack, that's what it is. Yeah, because I have the what was it, the Sith Evolution one, which is I guess hard as frig to find now. I have the one with Darth Nihilus, that one also. I think that's the Sith Evolution one. Legacy Evolution pack. Yep, that's what it's called. Jester and the Delta Squad are canon and most. Oh, who's speaking of squads? I'm pretty pumped for Rogue Squadron. That sounds pretty interesting. As long as it's, pre sequel trilogy. If it's during the sequel trilogy, then. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Mandalore the Great, she should be canon with a lot of what's going on with the Mandalorian, especially with their lore. That's what I don't get about Disney. It's like they threw out all this shit, and there's established characters everybody knows, and there's stuff that's happened like thousands of years before any of this that's come out or been out, especially from what Disney's produced, and it doesn't make sense that those characters are non-canon. It's like those won't even come into play until way before, thousands of years before episode 1. Like I don't get the thought process, and I get they're probably going to do their own spin on it and blah 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 blah, but just at least make the characters fucking canon. I don't understand why everything's got to be so cloak and dagger with, this is why I do my own canon. I don't even go by what the fuck Disney says. So, I have a ton of the evolution packs, saved them from when I was younger. I remember in elementary school, my dad would get me one if I got a good grade or something. That's pretty cool. I remember my parents doing that with a lot of like comics in general. Like I would always go shopping with my dad for my grandma and grandpa I think it was every Thursday. So when we'd stop at like Tops or Wegmans, I don't know if you guys or girls know what the hell Wegmans or Tops even is, but when we'd stop at the grocery store, I think it was Tops, we'd stop and get them groceries. We'd always stop at like a comic shop or something, or I'd find like a wrestling magazine or something like that, and I'd always end up getting like some little toy or something like that for helping my dad go shopping with my grandma and stuff. And it was kind of like a weekly thing that we just did together, and it was really cool. So I have lots of fond memories of picking up, like, what was it, the old DC superheroes figures from like the early 90s. What was it? A lot of those late 80s, early 90s comics, like some of the awkward stages that Iron Man was going through, or some Spider-Man comics, even though Spider-Man's not really a big fan of Spider-Man. But I remember getting a ton of Star Wars comics, especially from my uncle. My Uncle Barry would always get me some sort of Star Wars something. And every time I'd go visit them, we'd always watch Star Wars. Front to back, episode 4, episode 6, every time. And I would always spend Christmas Eve at their house and then go to my parents' house for Christmas Day. And we'd always watch Star Wars every single time. Star Wars or Ninja Turtles, the movie. It was always those two. What do you see? I have heard, or have you heard anything about the Cobra Viper being released to Target before the release date? No, Renegade. I don't really collect the classified series. I own one figure, and it was actually sent to me by S. Myers. Thank you, S. Myers, again. He sent me Duke. I don't collect the classified series, really. I pretty much really, I have so many 3 3/4 inch Joes that I don't collect the classified series. So I don't really know any information about their release dates or anything like that. I know they are a Target exclusive, so may God have mercy on your soul, and may He help you. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a religious man, and so I'm using this as a a frame of reference for a joke. But may God have mercy on your soul and Godspeed trying to find those. But I have the Mandalorian one, the Commando one, the Sith one. I also remember having nice memories of picking up clone figures from my local toy shop that was near me. That's cool, Brennan. There's a lot of great toy shops in Long Island, New York, and a ton of those shops have a ton of Star Wars figures, G.I. Joe, and toy soldiers from Airfix. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, Buffalo, not so much. There's not a lot of toy shops there. Besides your garden variety like Toys R Us, there is not a lot to to find in the Buffalo, New York area. And I know Buffalo's like what 500-600 miles away from. I think it's like 500 miles away from New York City. So I know Long Island's just right around that area, but yeah, Buffalo, New York, not so much stuff to find there. It's gotten a little bit better. I will say this: before I moved, it started getting a little bit better as time was going on, as far as like finding toys or comic shops that were in my area actually stocking some toys. I even brought it up to one of the owners. I was like, "Hey, you should try and stock some figures. Might sell some." What's my feeling on the retro Walmart GI Joe exclusive or Walmart exclusive GI Joe action figures? Are you upset that mostly they are not retro and does not wait, sorry, I'm reading this like I have dyslexia and I don't. And no offense to anybody that has dyslexia. What is your feelings on the retro Walmart exclusive GI Joe action figures? Are you upset that they are not retro figures, or does that bother you? Myself, I prefer modern style figures at that price. At the price. Terry Turner says, "Thank God for online shopping." Uh, Bama Boyd. I kind of touched on this in some of the previous videos, and I'll kind of reiterate what I said. GI Joe, kind of as a whole, right now, like I pretty much have what I want from GI Joe. Like I have a ton of vehicles. I have a bunch of play sets. I have the Terradrome. The Terradrome was really like the thing to get for me. It was the one thing I really always wanted. I got it years ago. I think I got it about 5 years ago at this point. Wow, holy shit, that was 5 years ago. I have that. I have a ton of vehicles from the vintage line. Some modern stuff too. Like I got the Rhino. The only thing I think I really don't have is, and then I really actually want. I would eventually, I would eventually like to get a flag, just not at ridiculous prices. But then again, I think to myself, I could just make my own. So like, why not just make my own, and it'll be bigger and better. But I would really like to have the ROCC, the was it the Rock is what I'd like to have. I have the Pit. I'd like the Rock. I just think it's a really cool vehicle. Another thing to just check off the list that I have and be able to play with that thing. It's something cool to have. But as far as the retro stuff goes, and like the classified series, like I said, I don't really collect the classified series figures. I'm kind of stuck with 3 3/4 inch as far as GI Joe. That's what I grew up with. That's what I like. I even have some 12-inch figures, but I don't buy all the 12-inch figures. But for the most part, I kind of just said, I have enough GI Joe, and I don't need to start a whole nother scale for right now. I have enough 6-inch figures. I have too much shit right now where I don't need to pile another thing on the rest of the things. You know, I've even given up collecting after I got the Alpha Predator. I've given up kind of collecting Predators. So I'm trying to consolidate my collection because it's getting out of hand. But what are my feelings on the retro figures? Like I said before, I'll reiterate what I said before about the retro ones. They are not retro, nor are they modern figures. They are stuck in. Well, but what I mean by this, They're not retro because they don't look retro, nor are they actually retro because they're not O-ring style figures. Not that they could do O-ring style figures because O-rings are not up to date with technology, so you would have to kind of do some sort of T-joint there and kind of redo the mold as far as the vintage figures. So I never really thought we were going to get vintage figures. Not that I don't think I would actually be intrigued in getting any of those. When it comes to the modern figures, though, calling it a retro line and then giving us modern figures, it could have worked if you would have actually given us retro figures. If you're going to do what you did in 2007, Hasbro, it would have worked, but you didn't. And you just went with molds from 10 years ago, 2010, in the Pursuit of Cobra line and Retaliation and stuff. And you're reusing shit that has been reused to the nth degree. And you're not actually giving us anything new. Giving us old shit from 10 years ago. Personally, I just don't care because I have a lot of the modern figure. I'm more of a modern collector anyway. So I just don't care about the retro line personally. I have the Pursuit of Cobra figures I need. I have some FSS figures that are affordable. I don't know. Just don't need them. How many more Dukes do I need? Don't need any more. Got the Pursuit of Cobra Dukes. Don't need any more. You know? If they actually made new molds with like thigh swivels and still gave them double jointed knees and maybe gave them double jointed elbows or did something different for the retro line, I would ponder actually collecting that line. On top of that, you can't find them anywhere. And the only things you can find, as far as what I've seen, are the HISS tanks that come with the re-release figure from the re-released HISS tank from 2008, 2009 era, 2007 era, that whole era. There's nothing really all that new with those figures, so I just don't care about them, really. To each their own. If you guys like it, it's not my money. It's not my collection. Go for it. Personally, I'm good with what I got. And I'm appreciating what I have. 100% disappointed on those guys. And they should just continue Pursuit of Cobra. Well, if they redid Pursuit of Cobra and made that relevant, they would have to keep expanding. I feel like if they just redid Pursuit of Cobra, they would just re-release all the Pursuit of Cobra figures that were already released. It's like, I don't want, why do that? Because I know Hasbro would do that shit. They'd be like, oh, well, we still have these molds. Let's just re-release all the shit that sold before. And for a lot of people, that might work. And it's maybe on some sort of scale, it's a good idea because a lot of people missed out on those figures. I know a lot of people want Shadow Tracker. I have Shadow Tracker. But I don't need them again. I think the only really one I would really want released is Moneybags Destro. That one, that would be top flight priority. Complete. Strident actually hooked me up with one, but he's missing the money bags and the briefcase with the money, which isn't the end of the world, but I'm happy to have it and thankful. But I would like one complete down the road and not have to spend $100 for it. That's what I did. Started a project 2 months ago building a more spacious flag. That's cool, man. Yeah. Hey, it'll save you a lot of money. It'll save you a lot of stress. It'll save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of, maybe not effort, because you got to put a lot of effort into making your own flag, but you'll have one that's an actual real scale. I'd love G.I. Joe to pull War of Cybertron sort of line and have a retro line like that. Yeah, I mean, I know. I collect them. They're great. It's a great line. I agree 100%, Brennan. ODC, I'm still I'm still working on interlocking shelf piece on my 3D printer that I'm doing for my classic GI Joes and Cobras, as well as other collections, and once the millimeter numbers. Cool. Okay. Figured out. I will make more. That's pretty awesome, man. If you're using 3D printer, I would love to own a 3D printer eventually. That would be awesome. Um, cool. I'm trying to think what were the other. I think that's all the characters. Oh, the Gregor would be another character I'd like for the Black Series. The Grand Inquisitor, which I can't believe hasn't been done. I'd like to also get the Ninth Sister from what was it? Jedi Fallen Order. I still think there's a lot of characters in Jedi Fallen Order that should be made. What you call it? Agent Kalis would be cool, and Biggs, Darklighter. Come on, give us some Biggs. I want some Biggs. I want some more X-wing pilots, please. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably get some because of the Disney Plus show. But Biggs, I think, makes sense, even though he had a short life to live in the movies. That's kind of another wishful thinking. Maybe a online exclusive, like a Big Bad Toy Store or Dorkside Toys or Entertainment Earth exclusive figure that they could get away with doing. And there's not really a whole lot you have to change. You probably just need a new head sculpt and repaint an X-wing helmet. You could just use that Luke Skywalker / Wedge body. I've got Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Roadblock. All I need is Destro, Scarlet, and Baroness from the Retro line. Cool. Hey, man. If that's what floats your boat, sinks your ship, go for it. Gregor would be awesome, yeah. I think the Clone Commandos need to be made. Just like I think the, what was it? We brought them up earlier. We were talking about them. I'm trying to think what the heck. Not the Dark Trooper. We were talking about Dark Troopers, and then I think I'm getting tired. Just waking up at 5 in the morning to go to work. So that's what it'll do to you. Usually I'm like wide awake by this point. That's what I was used to. What were they called? Come on, help me out here. I'll find out right now because my memory is so shot. The Commando Troopers. The Commando Droids. Commando Battle Droids? No, that's not what they were called. I'm not talking about the B-1 Battle Droids. I'm talking about like the, what was it? And not the Super Battle Droids because I already brought them up. But the Commandos and then the ones with the staffs. What is wrong with me? I can't think of anything. Come on. My nose is so stuffed up. Moving from the north down to the south also. If I don't take Allegra D every day, it's like I'm shot. Magna Guards. There. My God. The Magna Guards, I would love to see. Like I said, I mean, we just need more battle droids and super battle droids, and we need Magna Guards, we need droidicas, we need the droid commandos, which are pretty awesome. Yes. Thank you, action figure expert. Ones of the staffs are called Magnum Drawers. Yes, Magna Guards. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Terry. Thanks, buddy. 3D printers are not so expensive, but it depends on what you're willing to spend on it. Well, yeah, there's also materials you have to pay for too. So, but it is a good investment though, and I would love to do that because I would love to like 3D print some custom heads and stuff. I can't tell you how much like money I've spent on like a custom head. It's the amount of custom heads too. You know, the GI Joe Pursuit of Cobra line. I'm missing Wave 5 and the Toys R Us exclusive Spirit and Quick Kick. Yeah, those are. Well, Spirit's not too bad. I think you can get them around the $20 price point, which I think is okay. 20 to 30. I wouldn't go past 30 with him though. Bama Boy almost got the whole line of classified. Excuse me. Whoa, that was like a hiccup burp combo thingamajigger. I'm waiting for Snake Supreme. Cool, man. Cool. With the amount of figures I've been listing, I'd end up be making myself broke pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, like I said, the Black Series came out with a lot of good stuff. What was it? A lot of the WWE figures came out with a lot of good stuff this year. We got a snow speeder this year, which was amazing. We got. I just gotta say, like, you know, as far as like action figure lines go, like if I have to, oh, I'm going. The battery's dying, which means I should probably plug this in before the battery does die. Which means I have to take my headset off. Which means I'm probably going to end the stream soon. Which I'm tired anyway, and probably should go to bed. So I'll plug this in so we have a normal. Can say goodbye to each other. All of us can say goodbye to each other. But what was it? Marvel Legends had a good year for the most part. Joy Toy had an astounding year. And even some of the reveals that they're still coming out with are just crazy good. The Black Series had a really good year. Who am I forgetting? Transformers had an okay year. They had some figures come out, but they kind of dropped. They kind of dipped off from like beginning of the year. I want to say they were heavier on, and then like towards the end of the year, it's kind of dipped off a little bit. So maybe they're gearing up for next year for the Siege line or the Earthrise line, whatever you want to call it. But I think within the last like 4 months, I've only gotten what was it, Sunstreaker and Runamuck. That's about it. I don't think I've really gotten anybody else in the last like about 3 months. Yeah, those are the only two. Where's Strident ODC? I don't think I've seen any of his videos lately. He's still around, man. He's still around. We talk. It's just been like, I don't know. This year has been so weird. Like, I don't know how to, like, it's just like a busier year, even though it's been like COVID year. Like, I know I've been busy like every day. Like, that. I mean, there's a reason. Like, if I don't upload, there's a reason why. Because I would love to upload every day if I could. I would absolutely love to, but I just simply can't with the schedule and responsibilities and stuff I got to do. Like, even my collecting has slowed down exponentially. Like, there's other stuff I have to do. You know, I have to get that stuff done. Now I have a new job that I got last month, and I'm really excited about that job. So I've been really trying hard to, dive headfirst into this job and, enjoy it and have fun doing it. And he's the same way. I mean, he's a busy family man. Just like me. But he said I think he's got a video coming up soon, so he's not going anywhere. We still, as long as we still love to do this stuff, we're going to continue to do it. The other half of that battle is finding time and then finding passion. Sometimes, when you've been, like I've been on YouTube, he's been on YouTube, I think a couple of years longer than I have. And I've been on YouTube, what was it going on? 8 or 9 years, something like that. So he's been on longer than I have, and when you've been on YouTube for so long, you start to lose that passion, at least a little bit, just because it's hard to kind of just do the same old thing over and over and over and over and over again. I like to do different stuff. This is why I like to do live videos and kind of have long live videos and kind of just talk with you guys, because while it's fun to do a review and go through that editing process, doing it every day gets kind of mundane. Doing it the same way gets mundane. Doing it, even if I shoot from the hip and maybe it's not as perfect as I want it to be, because none of my reviews are perfect. There's a lot of flaws with my reviews that I know the stuff could be better if I had more money in production and I had more money in this, that, and the other thing, but I have other responsibilities to do. On top of that, I put a lot of money into my family now, and that's the priority for me. So, that's the important part now. Before, when I was, living on my own and just collecting was the priority, I would do a lot more videos because I had time, and then I had ideas to do stuff, and I still have ideas to do stuff like the concept that I wanted to start doing, which I did start doing last month. My favorite toys, which is just, it could be any of the toys that I have, but the kind of the only issue there is that I have to work with what I have already, and these are any toys from vintage, brand new, 5 years ago, anything. But that's my concept, and I wanted to do that, and just kind of showcasing an older toy or a newer toy or just a toy I feel like talking about. Because sometimes I'll want to talk about a Mythic Legion and sit here and ramble about a Mythic Legion for 20 minutes, and then other times I want to sit here and I want to talk about a Black Series figure for 20 minutes, or I don't know, Marvel Legend or Spawn figure, NECA figure, whatever. But it's hard to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and just staying. Some people can do it. Some people like to do that. I like to think I have a little bit more of a creative mind and want to do something different. And if there's nothing different to do and I haven't had time to think about that different thing, then I just don't do it. It's, I gotta feel it to want to do it. If you know what I mean. I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. But Stride's the same way, man. If he doesn't feel it, he doesn't do it, So, but, ODC, have I seen the video of how you can make water out of toilet paper and wood glue? No. What? Is it one of those, like, life hack videos? Yes, Beachhead is from Auburn, Alabama. Last time I looked up Spirit, he was 50? Oh my god, that's way too much. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, if you can find him loose, you probably get him for around 20. Bama boy. All right, Brennan, take it easy. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for shooting the shit. I appreciate you. You guys have a good night. I might actually call it quits too because I'm getting tired and I'm dehydrated and I need to drink water. And I came unprepared for class because my water's staring at me in the other room and I want to go drink it. And it's calling me like, Anthony, come to me. You want to drink me. And I'm like, I do, water. I'll be right there. You just stay right there. Next time you see me, I will be talking some WWE toys. Because I have not talked wrestling toys in so long. And there's a bunch of stuff I have to say about wrestling. And I want to start talking more wrestling. And I haven't. And it's something I've always loved. You guys know that. I know it's not agreeable with everybody. I know a lot of people probably... I know I get the least amount of views whenever I do a wrestling video, but it is something that I love and I'm passionate about, and I know a lot about it. I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to wrestling. But I want to talk about wrestling toys next and what I'd like to see from Mattel as far as wrestling toys in general, or from the AEW figures. So there's that, and maybe I'll do a Marvel Legends one. I don't know. I feel like those are going to be a dime a dozen, so I might not do a Marvel Legends one. I've seen videos where you can make explosions using toilet paper, machete. Paper mache, cotton balls, and LED lights. That's hilarious. Also, I think the Core bought the patent from Hasbro for the O-ring design, and I think that's why they didn't make the retro figures an O-ring design G.I. Joe retro. Did they buy that? I don't know. Is that fact? I don't know. I'm legitimately asking it if that's fact because I don't know. I watch too many YouTube videos. I mean I guess I do too. Like I'm still working through my OSW review video of WrestleMania 11 right now. That's where I'm gonna go probably pass the fuck out to. All right, guys. I'll see you later, buddy. Take it easy. It's nice to see you, Terry. But yeah, I'll end this here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of hangout. It is rather late. It's 1 in the morning. I think this might be the latest I've ever gone on a live stream. But yeah, I wanted to say thank you. Yeah. Caliper, thank you. Peace out. Have a good night. Bama Boy, have a good night. Renegade, have a good night. Gaz, have a good night. Terry, thank you for modding, and I appreciate you, brother. And have a good night. Action Figure Expert, have a great night, buddy. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Brendan, I know you're out. You already left, but have a good night. I'm just kind of giving everybody a shout out. Hopefully I don't miss anybody. Andy, as always, brother. Be sure to check out Andy's channel and Kyle's channel, Action Figure Expert 112, and Andy Showcase. I know they're pretty good with weekly uploads. So be sure to check out both their channels. Dr. Mango, thanks for popping in. Gaz, as always. I don't know if I'm just probably repeating myself now because I'm delirious. Uh, Tony C, thanks for popping in, buddy. And your suggestion of Yaddle, because I agree with that. S. Myers, thanks for popping in, bud. I appreciate you. Tomato Head, also. Oh, Angry Joe just uploaded a Wonder Woman 84 review. Matt Edwards, thanks for popping in. And Zorpox, thanks for popping in. So, I don't know. Andy says, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, but did I get Gideon and Karga? Yes, I did. I pre-ordered both of them. I didn't get them in store. I know some people were finding them in store, but I pre-ordered them. And I think, what was it? I pre-ordered them through Amazon, and now they got pushed back to May. So they went from February to May, I think. Oh no, or was that? Who was that? Somebody did. Somebody got pushed back. I think it was Gideon got pushed back to May. And I'm like, what the shit is that about? Like, they're supposed to come out all together in a wave. How does one figure get pushed back till May? That makes zero sense. So, I don't know. I might cancel my Amazon pre-order and just find it somewhere else. But yeah, I did pre-order those, so I'll get them when they come out in February, hopefully. But what was I saying before? I can't remember. I can't remember. But yeah, that'll do it for me. And thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking some Star Wars and some G.I. Joe. That was fun. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. If I don't upload before New Year's, have a great and happy and safe New Year to you all. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.